Are you ready?
Detroit basketball.
Hey peeps, how's it going? And today we talked a little bit about it yesterday on Above the Rim, but the Pistons are listening on anybody on their roster. They said no one's untouchable, that they're listening to the trade offers. And before we hop into that, it doesn't mean they're going to trade anybody outside of Andre Drummond. We're going to talk about that real quick. But first, I got to thank everybody who was a part of Above the Rim last night. Whether you were DSA members, Bravo, or Pistons World, thank you guys for coming on the show. It was a very good show. A lot of you guys came in there. We had a ton of people in there. And I just love your guys' passion about this team. I know this team's struggling. It's safe to say they suck. It's been a disappointing season for everybody. So to have, what was it, almost 80 people in there the other day at one time, something around that ballpark, was just unbelievable. Even if you don't like what we say, you guys are in there. And I respect your guys' takes. Even though I don't personally agree with all of them, you guys don't back down and you stand your ground. And I respect it. So thank you guys for being a part of that. We'll keep doing it. It's not going away anyway. I don't know why I said we're going to keep doing it, but for those guys who don't know what it is, it's a live basketball show every Saturday, 1 p.m. on my channel. We don't just talk Pistons, but today we are. And as I said, they said they are taking phone calls on anybody on the roster. Philly has expressed interest in Luke Kennard and Langston Galloway. Obviously, those are two very different contracts and players. Doesn't mean they're going to get either one of them. We're not just making trades to make trades. But what are some of the people that I think we will be moving on from? Obviously, the way Andre Drummond looked last night, he was extremely frustrated. I think it's all but over with him. Again, I wish we wouldn't trade him. I wish we could keep him. But reports, Andre asked for a max extension, and the Pistons countered it with a lot less, as they should have. So it's safe to say at this point in time there is no agreement on a contract. Even if we wanted to keep Andre, it sounds what we are offering him, he's not going to take it. So it is in the Pistons' best interest to get something in return for him. Again, I don't agree with letting Andre walk, but he is not a supermax player. You know, call me a fanboy, what you will. I love Andre, but he is not worth a supermax. It's a sad day. I'm going to be sad. Again, this, with my luck, this could be popping up right after this is uploaded. But yeah, it's a sad day and time for me, because I wish we could have kept Andre. But at the end of the day, you have to do what's best for business and what's best for the team, and it's better to get something in return for a franchise player than nothing at all. But what are some of the other players I think we can move on from? I think Tony Snell is one that we'll be moving on from if we're going all the way out with this thing. And I really hope we don't trade away people like Luke Kennard. I know a lot of you guys are not been impressed with Luke Kennard, but he is a building block for the future. Bruce Brown's a good person to keep. I know a lot of you guys don't like Bruce Brown either. He does have his flaws, but he was a second-round draft pick. It's only his second year in the league, and him and Sekou have a nice relationship. I don't really want to just blow everything up all the way yet. Give Bruce Brown time. Bruce is a work in progress. Like I said, he could be our Marcus Smart. It took Marcus Smart a few years to get his offensive game to being somewhat good. Again, he's not a great offensive player either, but at least he can shoot, he can pass, he can play point guard. Bruce needs to work on that, and it's just going to take time. Not everyone comes to the league and be, effective right away at everything. Who else? Langston is a good one. A lot of playoff teams will have some interest in Langston Galloway. He adds shooting off the bench and is an expiring deal, so like Philly's interested in him. I think Miami, not in the Golden State. I don't know why I said Golden State. Not Golden State. Cross them off the list. The Lakers, Milwaukee, people like that who are contending could really use the services of Langston. A good 3-point shooter, very efficient. I think he's hit a 3 in every game he's played in this year. I think, or he was at one point in time. I don't know if he's continued that, but he's had a pretty good season. And like I said, he's an expiring contract, so they don't have to re-sign him, but they can use him for the playoffs. So I'm sure there'll be at least some second-round pick value out of him. Again, that's nothing to be excited about, but playoff teams would be interested in Langston Galloway. Again, he probably won't be moved until the trade deadline. Who else? Derrick Rose is probably a key one, but they said they weren't trading Derrick Rose unless he demands a trade, which he very well could have. I don't know. I'm not inside the Pistons locker room or front office, so I don't know what the plan is there. Again, Derrick Rose would have a lot of interest. He's got a very, very good deal. His contract, one of the best for the value he's been producing this season, and he's been playing like an all-star. He is an all-star type caliber player with a great contract. Anyone would want Derrick Rose. Anyone else I'm missing out on? Again, those are just really some of the big ones that you can get something in return for. The key questions here are Reggie Jackson and Blake Griffin. Does any other team right now want to get those? Obviously, you're not moving Blake until the very least the offseason, until he starts getting the surgeries done, until he looks healthy and starts working out again. No one right now is trading for Blake Griffin. Reggie Jackson's a little bit different. Reggie Jackson needs to come back as soon as possible so he can show teams that he can play this season. But I have not heard any updates on Reggie Jackson and his back. Not one single drop of information at all. So you really have to consider that, because teams aren't going to trade for Reggie Jackson, even though he is an expiring deal, if he can't play, because they at least want to get something out of return. They don't just want to trade away something for cap space. Because right now that's the problem with it, is usually with these expiring contracts, there's usually star players out there. Again, there's some solid players in free agency this year, but there's no one who can come in and change the franchise or significantly make a team better. You can get deeper. So maybe they'll go for that, but usually when people trade for expiring deals, there's a player they're looking at in free agency. Maybe people want to do it for Andre Drummond, Mike Conley, or Brandon Ingram. Maybe. So that's a possibility, but the drive to do that this year with the weakened free agency class, maybe not the case. Not saying a team won't do it, but usually that's what drives players to do so. I think Markieff is a good one for people to trade for a playoff team. There's people on this roster that teams would want. And again, like I said in the beginning, if people are calling, it doesn't mean the Pistons are doing it. If it's not a trade that blows them away, they're not doing it. Because you have to look at it this way. For the people who wanted to rebuild, you're finally getting your way. We'll see how this thing works out. But the thing that I like about it is we've been rebuilding this whole time. You already have people like Sekou, who's starting and getting effective minutes, and Bruce Brown and Luke Kennard. Those guys have already been starting, and they're only been in the league for 3 or under. Luke's been for 3, Bruce has been in for 2, Sekou's his rookie. 3, 2, 1. You also have people who are absolutely just balling out in the G League right now. Doesn't mean it's going to translate to the NBA right away, but King's been balling in the G League. Dante Hall has been making highlight blocks and dunks, and I've been high on Jordan Bone ever since I've seen him play in the Summer League. I think with those 3 guys playing in the G League right now and producing, it's just a good sign that we can find some guys who can produce and have potential. Even if these guys don't turn into superstars or all-stars or even starters, they'll be good quality people to have off the bench. So you look at it with Jordan Bone, Luke Kennard, Bruce Brown, Sekou, Dante Hall. You can throw Christian Wood in there, King. What else am I missing? I'm missing somebody. But you get the point. You already have some foundation and core pieces to build around. You already got half a team built right there for the future. And now if you can trade away some of these players for draft picks like Andre, hopefully you can get a first-round draft pick for him and potentially get 2 lottery picks. The Pistons will be sitting pretty for the future. It's just going to take some time to develop Sekou. Luke Kennard's taken a jump this year compared to his first 2 years. Hopefully we can see a similar jump from Bruce Brown next season, and I think Sekou's just going to get better every game he plays. He's just got a lot to learn. Coming from a different country, playing into the NBA, he's 19, playing against grown men who've been in the league for a minute. So, like I said, they're not just going to trade everybody. I don't think they're trading Luke Kennard. They're definitely not trading Sekou unless someone just offers them something stupid, like they'll have to get a superstar in return for it, like a young superstar in return. And I don't think that's the way the Pistons are going. But at this point, every day it's something different. And it seems like they're backpedaling and saying something different every day. It's just something we have to watch out for. A trade can happen literally any minute. I really hope that wasn't Andre's last game because I want to see him go out with a bang. I really want to see him get one more 2020 so that way he can lead the Pistons franchise in 2020s throughout his career. He has 39. He is tied with Bob Lanier. He needs one more to be the leader in Pistons history. I really would like to see him get that before it's all said and done. But his days are definitely numbered here. Sad day. But let's just do this, okay? In the comments section, what are you looking to get for our players besides Andre Drummond? Okay, who is the player you want to trade? You can't trade Blake, so Blake and Andre are really two exceptions. Outside of those two guys, who are you looking to trade and what are you trying to get in return? Be reasonable. We can discuss it. There's really no wrong answers unless you say trade Thon Maker for like AD, because that's not going to happen. Try to be reasonable, and I'll get if you're funny. But leave that all down in the comments. Instagram, Twitter, DSM members in the description. There'll be a lot of trade rumors floating around, so there should be a lot to talk about here in the upcoming days. And whenever Andre gets traded, there will be an emergency above the rim discussing that with you, the peeps. So stay tuned for that. But have a good Sunday. Hopefully you guys had a good weekend. Stay safe out there. Roads are pretty bad. But without further ado, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.